Paratrack really started, I feel like, with the emergence of Oscar Pistorius. Oscar did so much for our sport, whether it was he took it just to a whole new level. He was the first to really run with able bodies and do well, regardless of the whole situation with his legs and being long and an advantage or whatever the IAAF said, was the case. He showed even with new rules that he could break barriers down. He went 45 in the 400, which is unheard of, and he competed on a scale that most people, let alone amputees, would dream for, and that's competing at the Olympics. And to do it as an amputee amongst able bodies is amazing. Now the sport has, with his recent situation, I can't comment on that, his personal life, but para sport has passed him, I would say. You have me now going 10.75 in the 100, Alan from Brazil going 10.57 and 20.6, which are ridiculous times. Jenny Peacock from Great Britain, who is an amazing sprinter, going 10.84. Before this year, most sprinters in the 100 would have loved to see 11 flat, let alone, sub-10s on a consistent basis. We have the emergences of the wheelchair athletes like Tatiana, who won 6 gold medals, the 1 through the 1500, which is amazing. It's ridiculous, to do that. So track and field in the Paralympics are completely different than what it used to be. 11 threes won't cut it. You won't get on the podium stand. You won't make the team. And that was only in 2011. I think the winning time in World Championships in 2011 was 11:33, which is it's just slow now. So we've evolved so much in the past years, and you have people like me who bring their own sense of self, and I feel like that's what drives sports. Those people who can compete, bring their sense of self to a sport regardless, and especially because it's paras, and I feel like it's some kind of taboo that comes along with disabilities, especially in America. And we need to step up and realize that para-athletes are the best in the world. I don't feel like people could have let alone get up and walk after an injury or after a disability occurs, let alone go compete and then be in the world's eye. Because I've ran in front of 86,000 people in London, and some 8 million people watched it on television. Mm. So, to do what we do in that limelight is amazing in itself. To add on top of that, we have stories. Not too many athletes can say, it's always the same story. I grew up in a bad neighborhood and I didn't have a dad, So, with being a disabled athlete myself, I grew up in a bad neighborhood. I didn't have a dad. I lost my leg. I had 14 surgeries, But after all of that, I came out. Mm-hmm. And I continue to do what I do now. Most people would quit, give up. My life is over. No, I get in the weight room. I lift. It's funny, I go in the weight room and I see people who are doing their workouts and they stop and watch me because and it's not just me. That's what's crazy about the situation. It's not just me. It's 1,200 other people. I think it was 1,300 athletes in the Paris last year in London. Mm. So it's, 1,299 other people who do the same thing I do. On the maybe not to this, I won't say the same thing I do because I kind of go hard. But other than that, they work out, they train hard. Whether it's a paraplegic who have no function but their hands, or a blind person who can't see, has to put complete trust in his coach, or wheelchair athletes who they never walk but they can run or push 1,500 meters in 3 miles. They go a mile in 3 minutes, which is ridiculous. Most people can't drive, ride their bike a mile in 3 minutes, let alone, push it in a wheelchair. So para it's an amazing thing. I mean, I seen blind people play soccer. I was done after that. After seeing that was the most amazing thing I saw, blind people play soccer. And after that, I knew then that the Paralympics were nothing, because even I was, that I knew nothing about the Paralympics before last year. So just to be a part of it now and to be one of the ones who are progressing the sport, like I'm number 1 in the world right now. So I'm one of the ones who are progressing the sport, and I'm in the forefront right now. And it's amazing to see the growth and to see where we're going to go in the next 8 years. I can't wait. And to be a part of that is an honor in itself.
So what goes on in your mind during the race?
Usually, I try to replay my race as much as I can before I even get to the blocks. We do something called visualization. The night before, I'm sitting in my bed and I'm replaying the perfect race in my head over and over again. Then I get to my starting blocks and I do 6.5 fists on one side, my lead leg, and I do 7.5 on the other side. Lead leg is the leg that's in the front that I'm push out with, and my trail leg is the following leg. Simple. But I hear set, and my butt gets up. I want to get it up as quick as possible. My coach likes it high and tight because I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'3". The gun goes off, and I'm thinking, drive. And I'm driving out as big and quick as possible, big and as fast as I possibly can, and I'm driving, and my head is down, all I see is two lanes, and I'm picking it up and I'm putting them down, and I'm picking them up and I'm putting them down, and 30 meters in, I'm starting to kind of lift up, because it's more like a gradual incline, taking off like an airplane. So I'm coming up 30 meters in, 35 meters, 40 meters in, and I'm feeling like it's either, at this point, I'm by myself, usually, if I'm, or if not, I know what I got to do. And I come up, and I'm about 55 meters in, 60 meters in, and it's time to run now. That's when the race get fun for me. I'm a top end speed guy, and I put it down, and I'm going, and I'm at full speed, and I see my hands, I see my knees, I'm seeing my hands, and I'm putting it down, 80 meters in. By this time, I'm like, oh my God, is the race over? Jeez Louise,
so
I'm turned, my body like, all right, Richard, get to the finish line. 5 meters in, I'm thinking, okay, get ready and lean, and I dip, and I put it through. The 200 is more of a patient race. It's kind of, that's why I'm kind of struggling at it right now, because I'm not a patient guy, but I'm definitely that's gonna be my race next year. I'm really focusing on the 200 next year.
Okay.
So that's what goes through my head during the race, just really trying to get to the finish line, keep everybody behind me, whoever front me, gotta get behind me. So run past and keep running.
Well, thank you so much for being part of